you want to find the Metamorphosis Reading, which is in Google Classroom under the classwork page. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm there.
Awesome. Okay. So again, people will be working at their own pace through this, which is great. Um, so this reading should be due by April 9th. If you're starting it earlier like this, then you'll be done before, right? So I'm just going to give you the second part of this reading is an escape room that will be bringing all the pieces of what you know about this reading together. So the way that it works, Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, this is a small book, right? We call this like a novella because it's a small novel. And then what I did is I took it and I cut it down even more into 37 paragraphs. And I know that sounds like a lot. It's the largest text we've read in this remote learning year. But I have organized the paragraphs at the top here in this grid. So if you click on any of the numbers, it'll bring you to the actual paragraph. So it's a little bit easier to kind of maneuver and get through. The paragraphs are shaded, the boxes are shaded in yellow because those are the paragraphs that contain a question that you have to answer. So the first thing that you're going to do when you're reading, right, is note right here. Let's go to this box. As you read, you're going to choose a total of 14 verbs or adverbs. So the action words and then the ly words that describe the action. So 7 in part 1 of the story and 7 in part 2. You can do this as you read, or you can go back after you read to do it. You're going to highlight that word, that verb or adverb, and then make a comment using the Google comment feature. And I'll show you how to do that. All right. And then you're going to determine if that verb or adverb has a positive feel or a negative feel. Okay, so this is exactly what I did in that video, and the video is linked down here in green. So if you need a reminder of that positive feel, negative feel, and adverb strategy, go back to the video. But I'm going to show you how I did the first few. All right, so let's practice that first. I highlighted the, hold on. I can't see, I don't have my glasses on. I highlighted this, waking up from anxious dreams. And I highlighted it because I felt that the verb and then been changed into a monstrous verminous bug. I felt that it had a negative feel because, so this first box goes with helplessly, see it below, like this first box that I have in paragraph 1 that's highlighted in dotted lines. The word helplessly is the word that I highlighted. That is an adverb. It ends in ly. It modifies flickered. So even if I don't know what flickered is, I'm reading to the left, right, until I figure out what was happening in a helpless way, helplessly. And so I made a comment, right? I highlighted it. You highlight it, you click on this plus sign up here, and you make a comment about the feel of that ly word. Is it a positive or negative feel word? And so what I did up here in that dotted line box, I said it's a negative feel word because less has been added to help, flipping it from a positive to a negative, okay? The next adverb that I found right here, ly word describing how something lay down, is quietly. And so by adding, the ly word, I said here in my comment, this is my model, my sample of what I want you to do. Go up and make a comment in the Google comments. Negative because he's afraid all of a sudden he's an insect, and he's quiet because he's frozen in fear. So it's important to note that quiet on its own is not necessarily negative or positive feel. You have to put it together with what's happening around that word to see, okay, is the context, is what is happening around that word positive or negative, right? And so if he's laying quietly because he's afraid, then that becomes a negative feel word. So that is the first thing you're doing. You're finding 7 adverb ly words that are to the right of verbs, action words. They describe verbs, or you can choose verbs, the action words themselves. 7 of those in part 1, and part 1 goes through, scroll down, body paragraph 23. So part 1 is paragraphs 1 through 23. You should be finding 7 verbs or adverbs, and then part 2 goes from 24 to 37. And find 7 verbs or adverbs there. Highlight it, comment it on the box, negative or positive feel. The next thing that you're doing is this third box right here in this up on top in the directions box, you're going to highlight in purple a phrase or sentence that you feel sums up the main idea of each paragraph. So I should see about 35, because I did the first 3 for you. Actually, it looks like I went crazy. I did the first 4. So in purple is what I felt was the most important parts of each paragraph. You don't have to say why, you're just highlighting what you feel the most important parts of each paragraph. I should see a purple highlight in every single paragraph. So to you, you think, what is the main idea of the paragraph? Why do I think this kind of like sums up the paragraph? Why is this the most important phrase or sentence in the paragraph? Okay, so far I'm seeing 7 comment boxes for verbs and adverbs in part 1, 7 comment boxes in part 2, and then purple highlights throughout. Finally, you're going to answer questions. So you're going to click on each of the yellow boxes at the top in that grid, right? We know that these are the paragraph numbers, but each of the yellow boxes has a hyperlink, right? You're going to go there. The yellow shaded boxes are the ones with the questions. So you're going to, each of these yellow shaded boxes has a question for you to answer. Let's say I go to 11, okay? And you can answer these questions as you go. My question is to the right here in the box, okay? I explain something and then I ask you a question. And it has to do with the part that's highlighted. So here it is the entire paragraph 11. I'm asking you to consider this question. You're going to write your answer by making a comment. So you highlight something in that paragraph, you click on this little add comment feature, and you write your answer here. Okay? So I should be seeing a total of, how many questions are there? Let's look up on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 15 questions. All right, a total of 15 questions because I see the 15 yellow boxes up at the top. All right, so when I grade this, I'm looking for 7 verbs or adverbs in the first half, why they're positive or negative feel. You have to say why. 7 verbs or adverbs in the second half, why they're a positive feel. Those are in comment boxes. So here are my samples up here, and I have the why. They're positive or negative. I should see a purple highlight in each paragraph. Doesn't have to have an explanation, but like up here, this is what I thought was the most important words or phrases or sentence in each paragraph. And then I should see an answer wherever you see the yellow highlight. And whenever you see a comment box from me like this with a question, I need to see an answer in a comment box off to the side. There are 15 of those. So you can feel free to view an animated summary of this story, the Metamorphosis. You can listen to the audio version, but just note that the audio version is much longer than this story, the one that you have, because I took the full short book and I put it down into just a shorter 37 paragraphs. So you'll notice that the audio book is 1 hour and 48 minutes. That's much longer than what it would take to read this out loud. So what you have is a lot shorter than the audiobook. The animated summary is 7 minutes and 6 seconds. It's like a summary overview. In fact, I would watch the animated summary first, and then go ahead and start, just so you have an idea. Okay? All right.